Everyone knew that. So if this meeting went to 3 hours, we've got to cut something out. So then people start at their convenience to say, you're editing me out. You're editing me out. It's nonsense. The truth of the matter is, 2011, two trustees on this board, George Martinez and Mr. Kennedy, were given the charge to go out and secure the type of equipment that would take care of that so it wouldn't be a problem. They chose not to. They chose to come back with rules and procedures for something that we didn't have to work with anyway. The last
Good evening, everyone. I see that this is to set a public hearing, but what I would like to find out is if we could, as residents, get a little bit more information to prepare us for this meeting. For instance, the costs of this agreement, and also I have heard that perhaps the public comment is going to be omitted from the television broadcast of our meetings, and I'd like to have whoever sets the agenda to be sure to address that if that is the case, I for one would be opposed to going further with this agreement. I don't think it would be a fair presentation of our meetings, and I think that it's important that we continue to broadcast the meetings in their entirety wherever possible, rather than edit them any further than they've already been edited. The residents are entitled to get a fair and certainly more balanced overall feel of how these meetings go, and if those public comments are omitted, that could definitely interfere with that happening. So I'd like to find out if there's any information available tonight about the public comment issue or the cost issue.
What I can tell you is that a couple of meetings ago, I chose Trustee Martinez to head up the television recordings, and he chose to deputize Trustee Kennedy, and they're going over procedures to see how we can do it. Because again, you know, early on when we first started the broadcast, we explained to everyone we only have a 2.5 hour time period before it recycles. We're running into an area now where we don't have enough time to get everything out. If we have public comment and everything else that happens in the regular agenda, then usually that goes over 2.5 hours in most cases, and we can't get anything else on. So it's difficult until we're able to spend the money and buy the kind of technology that we need in terms of equipment, so that we can air any and everything, and you'll be able to go back and see other board meetings at your leisure whenever you want to. It's difficult to put everything on. Right now we have the I Chose Freeport campaign that we're running, and we really want to be diligent about that because it's really helping the businesses. So it's going to be up to the committee. They're not finished yet, and we're going to roll it out and go from there. And if you want to add?
Yeah, if you don't mind, Mr. Mayor, Ms. Lester and the rest of the community, under the Mayor's direction, myself and Trustee Kennedy are co-chairman of this committee. It consists of ourselves and department heads. We had our first working meeting. We're looking at everything from procedures to guidelines to equipment. We've all been given our own little homework assignment. We're getting back together again because of the holidays. We're getting back together again in 2 weeks, and we hope to have a nice, solid draft to the Mayor and the rest of the board in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
That'd be great. And will the public get any further information before this May 2nd date?
Regarding which, ma'am?
Will the public get any more information regarding the agenda for this meeting, specifics maybe, before this meeting?
If I may, this is on the franchise agreement I believe you're referring to. It's still a work in progress. There's still points that the board may want to negotiate. We do have outside counsel on this working on it, so we invite you to come to the hearing on May 2nd, and if the board so approves it for May 2nd, and that we'll have counsel fully explain what the agreement is at that time. At this time, it's still a work in progress.
I see. Is the public comment, whether it's edited out completely or otherwise, is that going to be an issue separate from this?
Yes.
Because, like, for instance, I would be generally in favor of renewing this if I knew the public comment was still going to be there. If it's not, then I'd be against it. So I think we can't put the cart.
It's two separate things.
It's two separate things, yeah.
Look, on May 2nd, what we're doing, we're having a public hearing for us and the residents to hear and to see what Cablevision is proposing as their contract, the franchise contract. In addition to that, as the mayor stated and I stated, we have an internal committee that's looking at the procedures and the guidelines for the production and for the broadcasting of these meetings.
Yeah, well, my concern was getting involved with another legal agreement, and then find out that the rules of the game here for the public has changed after we've already laid out money or committed money. So that was my concern.
Decided by us.
I think it's safe to say that the accessibility of the cable channel will be part of the agreement, and that's all that matters. That we still will have the ability
We still
to
will
utilize that channel.
will have the channel, and our desire is to be able to not only show what's current, but when people want to see something that's happened already, they don't have to foil for it. They'll be able to go and look at it at will. But we cannot take all the time on that channel just for public comment, because public comment sometimes goes for over an hour. You know what I mean? The main focus is the agenda, so people know what we're actually spending their money on. That's number one. And then secondary is everything else, but we got to have an even mix, because we don't want to not highlight the positive things that are going on around town as well. And that's very important.
Sure,
Because every now and then it goes beyond Freeport, and outsiders see things that don't put us in such a good light. And we need to really start fixing that up, because we're better than that.
All right, well, I don't disagree with that part, but I think the other thing should not be discounted either. There has to be some kind of a,
There has to be a balance.
yeah,
Okay.
okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
Shh, folks, please. Now, if the way you and I do battle, Mr. Malone, back and forth, I don't remember editing him out. Public announcements on that are very, very serious. We do have a problem here in Freeport. We have a lot of people that are down on their luck, and anything that we can do to help our citizenry is where we really want to go with this. I mean, so we got to pick and choose, and that's the reason the public trustees are involved with getting this ongoing, so that it can be taken away from me being the editor. And that's not where I want to go. Where we want to go is have the amount of money that's necessary to buy the right technology so we can have everything.
Well, that can be bargained for in the agreement.
And that's why they're at the table.
Yes. And I strongly suggest, and I agree with you, that somebody else should do the editing here, because I'm sure that you have more important things to do. You did promise us transparency, and the editing as it's being done strongly goes against that promise of yours.
Is that only because I took you out, Steve?
I did. I wasn't even in the meeting. I was here, but I didn't say anything.